Magnus, our second son, was due right around Easter. And we moved from Mill Valley to Rockland, California, and we basically cut our rent in half. So Alexis was running a preschool there, so she closed that down. She's going to stay home with the 2 boys. And then the day after I moved there, I get fired from my job. And I'm like, I'm going to become a coach, and she has a baby due in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. And most of we didn't really have any savings because we were in entrepreneur stuff for a few years before then. So that's when it got really hard, really hard, right? So I have this moment where I'm super excited and passionate about doing this, but I'm not going to make money for 6 to 8 months, but everything inside of me is telling me to go this direction.
How'd you make money during that time? Like, how'd you survive?
We got on unemployment. You know, I did what I could. We were on food assistance from the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were, you know.
Help from family.
From family.
Yeah.
But you just believe that's what you were meant to do, Jason.
Well, and I was trying everything. I didn't want to get another job.
Yeah.
But I didn't want, but I did actually try. And the interesting thing about the tech industry and at that time is that, you know, I had been you had Bay Area and you had Sacramento, right? And it was extremely common to have a tech company where the engineer comes from Sacramento and drives down there all the time. So I didn't have any concerns about getting a job there, but during that period, nobody was hiring Sacramento people for Bay Area jobs anymore. So it was like I tried for 3 or 4 jobs and I just couldn't get a job. It just wasn't lining up. So I basically started going to the Chamber of Commerce every week and trying to get my own clients.
And that's how you would make your money, just by getting clients, getting them signed up. And then what were you coaching them on at the time?
Well, that's like when I started, you know, the Tony Robbins training. So I was just starting. So at that level, it was really just basic goal setting and accountability.
Okay.
I actually got my very first client before I had any training whatsoever. I went to UPW. 6 months later, I went to Date with Destiny, and Date with Destiny was really cool because I got to see a lot of coaching happen there. Tony does a lot of coaching. It's like, that event's amazing.
That's cool.
And then literally I came back, I said, I'm a coach on Facebook, and somebody said, I'll hire you. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, there is I've noticed a strong, like almost everybody in our world, meaning like the kind of I don't want to say like high performance world, we'll call it, like people that are like real estate investors or business owners. Everybody kind of understands like a coach would help me because it's one of those, what I call an asymmetric bet. So it's a bet that the downside is, I might spend a few $1,000s, you know, for a few months of coaching, whatever it costs. And I might lose that if I get nothing. But if I do get something, my upside is millions of dollars. It's a transformed business, a transformed marriage, a transformed life. And so most people are pretty open to the idea of coaching in our world, right? If they believe that the value's there, if they believe that they're actually going to get it. So, which is interesting because in the non-high performance world, we were just talking about this on a different podcast, but people don't get coaching at all. They're like, I don't need coaching. And it's funny that the people that are the high performers get coaching because they realize that they need help, or it's everyone else who doesn't. Do you encounter that a lot of people who say they don't need it, or are most people pretty receptive to your
There's a handful of people that just don't operate that way.
Sure.
But I'd say the vast majority of people, you know, will benefit from it. The vast majority. Because, you know, coaching helps you get out of your own way. You see different perspectives. You start expanding. And, you know, so some people have to get over their relationship with themselves to invest in themselves.
Yeah.
Investing in themselves in a coach, like spending thousands of dollars for yourself on like your personal improvement, is not normal.
Yeah. No. How old are your kids now?
5, 7, 9, and 12.
So you had it's spread a little bit, but not that much. You would have you would have had a bunch of little kids, like a baby and a toddler, and like that you were in it for a number of years. So Alexis, what was that like for you during that time? Were you working? Like, were you full-time momming? Like, is that a word, momming?
Yeah, full-time momming.
Momming, okay.
Yeah,
I like that word. Yeah.
I mean, I think I was doing a lot of both.
Okay.
You know, I was definitely in the full-time momming. I mean, I had a toddler and pregnant for like 10 years. And so, you know, you're always full-time momming, but I was always looking for something else also.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of moments during those years. You know, one thing I will say about Jason is when he decides to do something, it is full on and he does not stop. Like pedal to the metal, full gas. And so in those moments when you're building and working and trying, I think there were just a lot of me that said, I'm not going to let whatever's happening in our family or monetarily or where we're at with our business, like keep me from being super present with my kids or looking at goals that I might want 4 or 5 years down the road. So I worked at preschools, you know, I was very involved in the kids' education. And when Ace was about 18 months, I, went back to work, and I got back in the classroom, and it felt really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I made a commitment to like go work at the schools that the kids were at. It is a whole different level of managing a household, not just when your kids are babies, but once they get into elementary school. It's not that much easier once they start in, being away from home.
Yeah.
It's more. And so I dabbled in, parent coaching myself, and creating groups and mom clubs, and,
Yeah.
keeping
Yeah.
it moving.